Hi, welcome to today's videocast. This is the last video in the cognitive developmental series for middle childhood. And if you have been watching all the videos, thank you so much. And if you have shared it with your friends, thank you again. So this is here, this is here, this is here. And okay, I'm doing this. So what all did I show you? Can you remember? So I was just testing your short-term memory. So today in this series, we are going to talk about the last skill, the fourth one, that's memory and retention. Now, how do we use our stored information? That is, how are we basically using our short-term memory? In some situations, long-term memory also. We often judge ourselves that we are not good with the long-term memory, we don't remember, but our brain is such, mostly long-term memory is better than the short-term memory. We need to work a lot on our short-term memory. It's because it requires good attention and concentration also. So how we use our short-term memory, simply how are we, like I'm talking about how we use about our working memory, okay? So how we use a short-term memory is just equal to using your working memory or your current working memory. So this is an important skill again for cognitive development, especially for the age group 6 to 12 years, that we need to evaluate on, work on, and if you find any difficulties, you definitely need to start working on it there and then. So when we are working on the memory and retention ability for a child, we should work on visualization. Now we often, if we are in a situation, something bad is going to happen, we are expecting something bad is going to, we are going to visualize it. That is why we feel it more. Or if you are going to perform something, if you have a performance, you're going to visualize how you're going to perform. So that basically is a kind of pacifying strategy that we use. So we do a lot of this in art therapy as well. There we use visualization and mentalization. So it's kind of a mental rehearsal or a visual rehearsal you're doing, or you're visualizing. If you want to create something, you always visualize. Okay, I'm going to create a tree here. Under the tree, there would be a girl resting or a boy resting, or they would be swinging hands. So you first visualize what you want to put on paper. So work on visualization with your child whenever you're working on particular topic or you want to make them remember things. Like if you're talking about a tiger, help them visualize it. Show them definitely, but help them visualize it also. So that's a good thing. Again, your visual perceptual skills are coming here. Then is visual memory games. If you've seen my videos, like I did a visual memory game with you in the beginning. So if you have even seen a previous video on the visual perceptual skills, there also I have given you a visual memory game. So that's important. Then is whatever thing you are trying to make your child remember. If you're like working on a recipe together, on a craft together, you have taught your child, you have demonstrated to your child, it would be a great idea if your child teaches you back at least 3-4 steps. So that way the child is going to remember well. Okay, and the children who are having more severe concerns, again you can use other strategies. They can just tick mark to you or something like that. You need to like customize it according to your child, but this is one strategy. Now you have to always chunk out the information. Even if you have to do a big step of an exercise, if you have to squat, you are going to convert it into smaller steps. So with the kids also, anything you want them to memorize, to retain, you have to always present them in form of graphic organizers, flow charts. It could be in the form of mind maps, diagrams. It could be smaller steps can be written with the arrows, again kind of a flow chart. So if you need more details, you can connect with me. Build routines, repetitions, build engrams in our brain. So that's important. Now you need to build up connections. Like we use a lot of mnemonics for learning. We used to do that. So that is a good strategy. but they have to be like very easy. They should not get challenging that the child has to remember the mnemonics only. Okay, so they have to be like attractive, and you can make your own. There are endless mnemonics that you can make, but you have to be creative and innovative. And one important thing which I used to do, or many people still do it, is spelling, especially if you're making them memorize the spellings. And this is a trick that you can use. There are some words that we cannot visualize, or we can visualize, but still we cannot recall their spelling. So you can just make them visualize or make them what they feel about the rhyming word to that main word. Like lump is there. So with lump, it comes pump. So make them visualize pump, it moves like this. You can go behind, like make it fun thing so that when they hear lump, they immediately visualize pump and they are able to relate to this word. Okay, same thing goes for like hack. Maybe the child can't relate to it. So you can show them a rack in your house. That's a favorite rack with their favorite things. Again, so this is how you build up connections. Then it's very important to recall and retrieval practice. So you do something for 2 days, then you do some recalling. Like again, the cooking thing which we were doing, the steps you can make for a cooking activity or fireless cooking thing. So recalling, which we call as retrieval practice. So this is very important. Again, whatever you're trying to target for memory and retention, always make it like full of senses, multi-sensory activity. Like how it feels, how it is in the touch, how it is looking, is there any smell associated? So they are going to remember it more. That is why we say our long-term memories, because we make it multi-sensory in our mind. Oh, that time when I had that experience, or I had the coffee in that cafe, it was smelling, the cafe was having this kind of an ambience, the smell was so nice. So thus, like how you do for your experiences, you have to make your experiences for your child a multi-sensory experience, and it's very easy. So these are simple tips that you can go for. So this is my last video on the cognitive developmental series. And if you're looking for parent mentoring sessions or more tips on it, you can connect with me on Verbosity. You can directly message me on Verbosity on my Instagram, or you can directly mail me on hinasahi97@gmail.com. So that's it, and I end these cognitive developmental series for middle childhood. I hope you learned the term middle childhood by now, and you learned so many other things as well. Thank you for being a part of it. See you soon.